All right, now we're gonna make the first of the 3 videos and you're gonna repeat this 3 times through. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is get the transcript. Very first thing we're gonna do is get the transcript so that we can study the hook and the script structure so that we can replicate it. Now, when you're on the video in Sandcastles, you can click into it and you will either see the transcript already or you can press analyze to get the transcript. And if you have to press analyze, it will take you about 15 seconds. So let's go over these are the 3 we have just so that we can see them. Now let's go back to Sandcastles. The very first one was the faceless breakdown, which I think was the first one, right? I'm pretty sure it was the first one. We're gonna click in, scroll down, transcript's right there. We're gonna press copy. We now have the transcript. Perfect. And we're going to open our Google Doc. We've got the link pasted and we're going to copy that transcript below. If you see any typos in the transcript, fix that. There shouldn't be that many. All right, boom. We've got the first one there. We're good to go. All right, I'm not going to do the other 2 for now, but now that you've got it, let's just bold this for now. All right, perfect. Now, step 1 is idea tweaking. The main thing we're going to work on here is changing the idea because we're going to keep the hook and the structure the same, but we're going to tweak the idea. Now, ideas have 3 components. You have the topic, which is just a 2 to 3 word core subject of the video. You got the contrarian take, which is the 1-line premise or like whatever the main takeaway is, how you'd explain the video to a person in 1 sentence. And then you have the substance, which is like everything else they use. So when you look at the original video, you want to write down the core topic and the substance they included. Specifically, we're trying to figure out what made that video interesting and then how we could tweak it. So after you write that down, you're going to come up with your own spin. So for topic, we could either switch the topic completely or keep the core topic. For contrarian take, we could try to find some other take for it. This is the easiest way. If you keep the topic, but you just switch the take, that's the easiest way to do this. And then facts and examples will be other things that you include. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep the topic and we're going to try to just change the contrarian take and the examples. And we're going to write those down in the doc. So let's go into the doc. Let's just read this transcript. This video hit over 300 million views because the creator used 2 simple techniques that made him go viral almost every time. Number 1, pattern interruption. Instead of starting like every other art video, he instantly breaks the pattern, shows his craft failing, and that tiny shock makes people freeze. Number 2, curiosity loop. So here's the takeaway. Don't just post your content, break the expectation and leave a loop. So if I was going to take the topic, keep the topic, but change the contrarian, what I would do is I would still use this base video or one very similar. So I would say like topic is how to go viral. And it would be like this video. The contrarian take or like the core premise is this guy goes viral using pattern interruption and curiosity loops, right? And then the examples would be him breaking it down. So what we need to do is we need to come up with our differentiation. So I would say our topic is going to be the same thing. It's going to be how to go viral with these pots. Then our contrarian take is going to be different. This is where we're going to differ. We're going to differ on the substance. So I'm going to say the reason this guy goes viral is because his hook is a frame breaker. So this is like our new terminology. And these types of hooks create massive anticipation. And then I'm really going to base the video around this idea of anticipation. So basically, when people anticipate danger or disaster, it freezes their brain and they can't look away, is kind of the premise. So I'm going to keep what they have, but I'm just going to tweak the explanation. So I can use different visuals. I'm going to still use that same base video, but I can use different visuals. And this is how you create a slight difference. It's a new video. You don't have to use the same music. You don't have to use the same visuals, but the point is you're kind of telling a different story around the similar topic. Now, you're not going to do this forever. This is not going to be how you make content forever, but just on your first couple reps, it's so helpful to keep a lot of this stuff the same, just so you can get through to the end without having to guess a bunch. Okay, so let's go back to this. I just want you to get the kind of essence of what you're doing down. We're going to have AI do the rest. So the next piece would be the hook. So to keep things simple, we're just going to copy the hook, take the exact hook word for word, and switch the topic if needed. Okay, so we're going to go back here. The hook is, this is the original, let's just say for organization's sake. Okay, so the hook is this. This video hit over 300 million views because the creator used 2 simple techniques that make him go viral every single time. So in this case, we would leave it. Now, if you were using a different video, but you wanted to keep the same structure, like a different example video, that video might say 100 million views because the creator tried 2 differentiated techniques, right? You could swap some of the words. Let's just leave this for now. This video drove over 300 million views because of 2 simple techniques the creator used to go viral. Let's just tweak it a little bit, but essentially you're using something similar. Now, if you switch the topic a lot, you might have to switch some of the subjects. I think you get it. So let's go to the next piece, which is script. Take the script, feed it into Claude or ChatGPT, and prompt it with this. You are a master short form content storyteller. This is a transcript from an outlier video in my category. I'm trying to make a version of this video that keeps the story structure the same, but I'm using insert topic, and I want my contrarian take to be insert contrarian take. I also thought it would be helpful to include these insert facts or examples. Can you first break down the story structure of this script? Then second, create a Mad Lib script of the original, and then write a new version of me using my topic or contrarian fact and examples that stick as closely as possible to the original while still making sense. This is going to give you the overall story structure, which is 5 to 6 bullets, the full Mad Lib script, and a new script for you to use based closely on the original. You can read this script, tweak anything you want, and then lock it in. If it sounds AI-ish, feel free to polish it up. So let's take this prompt. And again, I'm trying to simplify this for you all the way down so it's as easy as possible. So we need to insert the topic, insert the contrarian take. So we're going to come over here. The topic is how to go viral, and how to go viral breaking down this video. Now, Claude's not, in this exact example of mine, this was a dumb example to use because Claude can't actually watch the other video, but I'll still copy it in. And then just to make sure, I'm going to say the video shows an artist that makes pots, stacking a bunch of pots on a bench that slowly fall and crash. This visual hook crushes for him, and we want to break down why. So I'm just giving a little context because I can't actually watch the video. Now, I want my contrarian take to be the following, these two things. So let's break this in. All right, we've got this in now. And then I also thought it'd be helpful to include these. I'm going to delete this because I don't have the facts or examples. Can you break this down? And then you got to make sure to put the original script here. Very important. So let's go to the original script. All right, original script is there, and let's go. So what it should give you is 3 things. It's going to give you the story outline, the story structure outline is what I call it, 5 to 6 bullets breaking down like the overall beats of the story. It's going to give you a Mad Lib format, which is the script with words missing, and then it's going to give you a new script with your stuff in it. Now, the more descriptive you can be on the topic and the contrarian take, the better, but this is just like a simple example to show you that it's going to work in real time. So let's give it a second. I would recommend using Claude. Opus 4.6 is insane. Sandcastles will have a way for you to do this soon, but it's easier for these first 3 just to do it this way. All right, so Claude is done. That literally took like 10 seconds. So here's the story structure breakdown. These are the kind of main beats of the story. So you've got the hook, you have the body technique 1, body technique 2, payoff, and CTA. So the hook is, they're calling it a credibility anchor. Then he breaks down the first thing, which is pattern interruption. Then he breaks down the second thing, which is curiosity loop. He reframes both techniques into one actual principle, and then he does a CTA. This is the overall structure of the story. And this is pretty typical for what you see when you're doing a case study or a breakdown. Then we've got a Mad Lib script. If you wanted to copy this script literally word for word and just substitute in different subjects, you could just ask for the Mad Lib script and do that. This video hit over a certain metric because the video used this thing. I find this to be a little too rigid and a little bit too close to copying exactly. So instead, we just ask them to write their own version of our script with the things substituted in. And here's what we've got. Remember, all I asked for was the same script, the same video, but I want to switch the 2 things we talk about to being a frame breaker hook and building anticipation. That's all I gave it. Here's what we've got. This new video is blowing up right now because the creator used one hook technique that most people have never heard of. It's called a frame breaker. Instead of opening with a normal pottery video, he stacks his finished pots on a bench and lets them slowly slide off and shatter. And that visual danger makes your brain freeze on the scroll. Here's why it works: anticipation. The moment you see something about to go wrong, your brain needs to know the outcome. That's why viewers watch all the way to the end, even though they already know all the pots are going to fall. So here's the takeaway. Don't just show your work the normal way. Put something at risk and let the tension build. That's what turns a forgettable post into one people can't scroll past. Save this reel, and if you want to learn how to engineer hooks like this, hit the follow. So this script from that reference is pretty good. Like, that's pretty close. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go back to our script. Let's paste this here. Now, I didn't feed it the hook that we wrote, so let's just copy this hook in that we wrote, but this is talking about a hook. So let's see. This video drove over 300 million views because of 2 simple techniques the creator used to go viral. The first one is called a frame breaker hook. Cool. So now we've just transitioned it more seamlessly. So just like that didn't require you knowing how to do anything, right? And that's the key. For these first reps, I don't really want you to have to know stuff. You just execute this playbook and get the feel for posting a couple videos. Then we're going to teach you how the fundamentals actually work. Okay, so let's go back here. So we've done this now. We've got the script and we've tweaked the script. At this point, we now have a dialed script in the format that was validated on a similar topic with a fresh, unique take with a hook and story structure that was validated. Amazing, right? So we've got this. Like, this script is ready to go. The hook is validated. The topic is validated. You've come up with these two things. And if you didn't know how to come up with these two things, you could paste the original script into Claude and ask it, what are some other things I could come up with? Like, if you really couldn't come up with anything on your own. Ideally, this is where the content really does work. If you're an expert at anything and you have that expertise locked, we want you to try to come up with non-obvious things. We'll get to that a little bit later in the curriculum, but that's a really helpful way to do it. So now we've got the script. All we have to do left is record and edit, and we're good to go. So we'll come in. Next step is record. So the goal for recording is to keep the recording and editing at an absolute minimum as much as we can. What I want you to do is record on your iPhone or record on your cell phone. Don't get a camera. You don't need a camera unless you're comfortable using it. Shoot at 4K, 24 frames per second. The back camera is better quality, but if you want to use the front camera because you're more comfortable seeing when you're recording, that's completely fine. Try to match the shot angle of the hero take as close as you can. Now, in this example, this is a faceless video. So there is no creator face. There's an audio that they had to record into their phone or into their mic. So if I did this, I could record it just into my phone into a voice note and then have that if I wanted. Most of this is going to be done in the edit. But for like this one, you're going to set your phone up on a tripod or just on a windowsill or a book. You're going to film and you're going to read the script line for line, right? Ideally, you try to be a little bit more casual about it. But if that's hard, just have the script on a piece of paper, on a computer, look down, memorize the first line, look up, and let it rip. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to mimic whatever the reference is. That's why it was important to pick outliers that you thought you could execute visually. This one, if you do something like this, will be a little bit harder, but you can edit it completely fine. You're not going to be on the screen. So typically you're going to be on the screen. So follow this for the video. When you record the audio, you can do one of three things. You could just use the audio from your phone. So if you're recording literally just like this on your phone, no mic, just talk into it. And whatever the audio that picks up in the phone, you could use that. That's completely fine. That's like the lowest fi way to do it. Second, you can get an old pair of Apple wire headphones. So these are like the white ones with the wire that are really popular now. Those have a little mic in them. So you don't have to wear the earbuds, but you can just hold the mic up. As long as the mic is plugged into your phone, you're going to get pretty good audio connected to the video, which is good. The third would be you can use the DJI wireless mic. They have two options, the Mac Mini or the wireless main mic. So this is what I use for all my videos. I just hold this thing. The main one, you can record directly to it. So you don't actually have to have it linked to your phone. However, all of these DJI mics come with this little thing, which plugs into your phone. It's like a receiver. So you could hold your phone and hold this separately and it will sync up automatically. So if you want to sync it up, you can get the Mic Mini or the wireless mic. If you want to be able to record directly to it without syncing it, you're going to need the wireless mic. The Mic Mini doesn't have that feature. So those are the three options you have, super lightweight right now in terms of audio. Like, I'm trying to get you set up immediately. Phone, some kind of audio, boom, they're linked together, as simple as possible. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to record the video to match the outlier. Like I said, if the outlier has different types of shots with different cuts, you're going to do that. If the outlier is one shot straight on, you're going to do that. If the outlier doesn't have any video and it's just audio after, perfect. You don't have to record the video. You're just going to record the audio and layer it in the edit after. Whatever they did in the outlier, you do. And so if you picked one that you feel like you can't execute, go ahead and pick another one and then rerun the process I just went through. The goal here is just to get as clean of a take as you can on the video and the audio. Again, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel tough because you're not used to doing this. The reason we're doing this first 3-rep exercise is to get the cobwebs off before you actually get into the video process, right? So this is why I want you to do it like this. At this point, you should have the raw recording ready to go. It should just live on your phone, like a video on your phone that you've recorded in one take of the script. If you make mistakes, it's fine. Just read the script again. You can chop all that out in the edit. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the edit piece. At this point, you should have the recording. So now here's where the edit happened. Now the edit is typically where people get overwhelmed. You're not gonna get overwhelmed though, because you're gonna follow these steps. We're gonna edit this whole thing on our phones using the Instagram Edits app. Now, what I want you to do is go watch these 2 tutorials on how to use the Edits app. Very simple. Pull up the footage in your phone. There's only a few things you can do. It's actually very straightforward how to do it. And you're going to try to edit the video as best you can, mimicking replicating the pace, the visual layout switches, and the graphics of the outlier. Again, we'll get way more complicated with this if you want. I'll show you way more bells and whistles for how to do this, but I'm trying to dumb it down so that you can just get through the edit in 20 minutes. It's going to be a little frustrating editing on your phone. I always edit on the computer, but I want to force this into like the minimum viable way of doing things. So if there's a graphic in the outlier, try to put a graphic in your video in a similar spot of a similar thing that matches what you're saying. Now, if you see a graphic on the screen in the outlier and you can't find one, like you can't find a picture on the internet for you to screenshot, take a screenshot of the outlier video on your phone, drop that whole screenshot into ChatGPT and ask it, make me a visual like this one in the corner that I can download, and it will make you that visual and you can download it. You should be able to get crafty with Claude or ChatGPT and ask it to make you anything. Claude doesn't have like an image generator, so use ChatGPT if you're trying to generate any visuals. Now, at the very end of the edit, you're going to go in and just add captions. It's very easy to do that in the Edits app. These walkthroughs will show you exactly how to do it. I'm purposely dumbing this down and not giving you a lot of insight because I want you to struggle through this first couple reps on your own. It's very helpful to kind of like get through that pain because then you'll have unlocked several key things. Okay, so at this point, you should have the full first video edited, which is awesome. Now we're gonna do the last video, which is just a super lightweight way for you to set up your BIOS quickly and post, and then you're gonna be good to go.